Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're talking to Jakub Smyčka and Eva Hussein. Jakub is Polaron's project coordinator for Czech and Slovak Citizenship, and Eva is the director and founder here at Polaron. Today we're going to be talking about one of the Czech archives. Over to you, Eva.
Thank you, Stephanie, and hello to you, Jakub.
Hello, nice to be here again.
We meet again, and today we're talking about Czech Archives. Why are we talking about Czech Archives today, Jakub?
Well, Czech Archives, if you have Czech heritage, they are very important for you because you can find everywhere about your roots, about your ancestors there. And actually, you can find a lot of information from home. So this is why we will talk about it today, to tell our listeners what they can do from home, even from United States or any other corner of the earth.
Excellent. So essentially, just to add to what you said, we're going to be talking about the archives because we need archives to prove that somebody was a Czech citizen or not, or whatever. All right, so is it fair to say, Jakub, that the Czech Republic has really extensive archives or not? Or is it hit and miss? Are they fragmented? Did they get destroyed during the war? Can you give us a bit of background, please?
Yeah, in my experience, Czech Republic has very good archives. Usually nothing is missing there. It's also because the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia wasn't so affected by the Second World War, so almost all of them preserved. If some of them are missing, they are also able to help you with that because the records were usually in more archives, like duplicates or something. So yes, I would say we have very good archives, in very good records in very good condition, and it's also most of them are digitalized, which is also very useful.
Right, this was going to be my next question. So you've answered that, but what about access to the archives? Can anybody access archival documentation, or because you've got GDPR, of course, which is the overarching European privacy legislation. Who can get access to archival information or documents?
Yeah, this is right. Actually, the border, is usually 100 years. So if more than 100 years passed, then anyone can access these records, even through, for example, they are scanned and you can view them online. If less than 100 years passed, you usually need to prove some kind of kinship or power of attorney, and then send a request there, and they will send you the documents back. So usually also digitalized. So yes, so you need to be careful about the privacy, about the GDPR laws. Mm-hmm. But if more than 100 years passed, then it should be fine.
It's available to anybody. Jakub, can you share your screen with us and show us what the Czech archives look like, please?
For sure. So I prepared this for you. This, as you can see here, our clients can see the URL. Czech Republic has dozens of archives, and I show you this map to show you how the records of the births, that's simply registry records, how they are divided. So we can see that the Czech Republic is divided between 8 archives, eight main archives. And I will show you one of them as an example today to how you can search your ancestors.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different regions. Is that right? Oh, that's 8.
Yeah, it is.
8.
Yeah, there are
8
different regions, and they are divided between different archives, main archives. So I will show you one of them as an example.
Okay.
There's a red one, for example, and I will choose some random city. Mm-hmm. It's called Strážnice. You see it also in German. I will choose that. And here you would maybe need a little bit help of translator, Google Translator. So here you can see these are the birth records, marriage records, and death records. Here is the church. So we see it's St. Martin Church in Strážnice. And we would say, for example, your ancestor were born in 1853, 1854. So we would view that. And now we have access, as you can see, to the registry books. what is not really user friendly is that you cannot actually search there according to name. So you need to know the date of birth, and then you can read it here. But as you can see, it's written in German, so you
Yeah,
would
I was
need
going to ask.
to get I mean the language of archival documents in the Czech Republic area changed during the centuries. So we can say 17th century it was in Latin, then it was in German until we can say 1860, 1870, and then it started to become in Czech, because the German was dominant language here in the Czech Republic until the middle of the 19th century. So here it's year 1853, and we still can see that it's in German. So for example, I will choose this record, and we can talk about it. As I said, it's just a random record, but we can talk about it a little bit more. Or I don't know, or I can choose some random page.
Yeah.
So we
I did want to ask you a question, Jakub. So let's say somebody's born in Prague 80 years ago. Their records will be in the city of Prague, right? But if somebody was born 120 years ago, their records will be in the regional archive. So what happens here?
Yes, this is exactly how it works. If more than 100 passed, they send it from the registry office to archives, and then they usually digitalize it. So then you can view that. So as you said, 80 years, it's still in the registry office, and you need to send a request there. But more than 100 years, you can view that here. Okay, so I will use this as an example. Here you can see it's in German. So this is the date of birth. It was in 21st of July 1855. The baptism was day later, 22. This is the number of the house, which is also very useful, 336. This is the name of the child, which is Rudolf. Here we can see if he was born in wedlock or not. So we can see he was. And here are the names of the parents. Yeah, it can be hard to read. So
because it's in the old Germanic script as well, yeah.
Yeah. So it can be hard to read that, but if you get used to it, if you see few records, and for example, you know how your grandfather had name, so you can get used to it, and later you can read that. So this is Martin Voslav was the father. Aloysia was the mother. Here you can see the signatures of the godfathers. So this is basically to, the point is that it's digitalized, but there is no like central searching in it. So you can
so you have to go by date and one by one. I have a question for you, Jakub. So from what I can see, the document's in German, but the signatures are in Czech. Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. Because I mean the Czech and German language mixed together here for centuries. So a lot of Czechs even today has German surnames. Some people in Austria, for example, has Czech surnames. And so yeah, people in this region had all the time they had Czech surnames. But you can see that it's everything is German there, and the surname is in Czech, and they spoke Czech actually, but the German was the official language back then, so they need to keep records in German.
Yeah. Okay, so this website, which is mza.cz, what is this? Is this an official website of the Czech government?
No, this is the official. This is the official website of Moravian Land Archive in Brno. And as I showed you at the beginning, it just covers small part of the Czech Republic. Different parts of the Czech Republic are covered by different archives. So this is just archive
region.
Just one of the 8 regional archives.
Okay. So what you need to know if you're looking for records is firstly the region that somebody comes from. Then Definitely. You need to know the name and then the date or the date range. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really need to know the name. You need to know the place of birth for sure. And then you either the name or the date. You don't need to know both of these things, because for the name you can search at the end of the book, or usually, or there is some different book for this, where, you know, in alphabetical order there are all the people born there. So this is when you don't know the date of birth, you can search that there. Or if you don't know the name, which is not really often, but it can happen, but you know the date when your great grandfather was born, you can just take a look who was born in that city on the specific date. Because
this particular one looks at a date range of 1853 to 1873, which is 20 years, yeah? So
yeah,
you bring
exactly.
out, so you brought out 310 records, and then you have to search them manually. Is that what you're saying? That you have to look at it one by one just to see?
Yeah, it's
if your ancestors' names
310 pages of records,
Yeah.
so even more. Mhm.
Okay,
So
and
it's
there's
like,
no
you
way
know,
of searching for the name. Am I right?
Yeah, there actually is, and I can show you, because here is also index, so which is a list of all the people born there. So if we can see here this small, you know, yeah, this is under that, and we
Yeah.
can see that in this book there is 2, and it's usually on the end. So I would try 300, for example, and here I can see.
Ah, okay, so that's a list of names that appear.
Yeah, in the alphabetical order. This is the
Okay.
P letter, and now you know, it's hard to read that, but here are all the surnames starting with P, and you know, for every year and on which page it is. So you can search actually, and this is, you know, here it's this is Petrželka, Polášek, Pánek, Příkazky, Polešák, Píža, Porazil. So this is and here now you can see it's on page 229, and you can take a look at it. So if you know the surname of your grandfather and you know that he was born in Stražnice, you can find him here.
Yeah. Okay, can I get you to go back to the page you were on, because I have another question, and it's probably going to be the last question, I hope. No, where there was a list of all the
okay, fine.
dates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's quite a few gaps. So you've got 1629 to 1663, and then 1665 to 1724. But then you have gaps of years, right? So it's whatever books survived. Yeah. Can we have a look at the very old one, the first one, to see what that looks like?
Sure, we can.
Yeah.
This looks like from the Middle Age.
Oh wow. So this is like 300 years old. This, no, 400.
Yeah, it is 400 years old.
And what is the language? That's Latin, yeah, not German.
Georgi Vetečka. This is
Latin.
This is actually, it's a weird combination of Latin and Czech, but it's mainly Latin. Oh, because you know here, this is Georgiu Vetečka.
Yeah.
Or Všetečka, which is still the Czech surname. So you can Zakolečník, which is, you know, the name which he was called, so like the nickname. So it's a weird combination, and you really need to be a historian to be able to read it that. But you can see it's October 13. So this is, you know, not for ordinary people, I would say, who are
not for me.
Yeah, but but it's for sure interesting, and it's also valuable source of information if you know how to read in that, which is unfortunately hard because it's in Latin and not a lot of people speak Latin. This is marriage, Katerina Ioannis and Margarita Páleník, which, so you can see this, Ioannis is like John. Yeah, it's interesting, very interesting, but it's hard to read in that.
Yeah. But I tell you what else it is. It's fascinating that these records go back 400 years, because, like, you know, across Europe, it wasn't that common to be registering documents. So it's amazing that the Czech Republic has got records like that. And I think, as you said earlier, pretty much everything's intact, and a lot of records are digitalized. So again, that map that you showed us, you can go directly to the regional archive and see what they've got available. And this is just one of them, right?
Yes. Yeah. Basically, Czech records go back 400 years until the 30 Years War. So this is when it was started to be recorded.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And again, on our post, we'll put links to where you can find this information. And if you have a bit of time on your hand, particularly if you can read German or Latin, that might be quite useful. But I think you're right that either a historian or an archivist would be best person to look at this, because it can give you a headache, right?
Exactly. But if you can learn everything on the internet these days, so if you have time and want to do that, I think it will be no problem for you too.
You could, yeah. All right, cool. Well, thank you for showing us the Czech Archives.
Thank you very much for invitation, and I'm looking forward for